All right, let's fucking go.
Gotta find my joint up on this bitch.
Let's fucking go.
Mitchell.
All right, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. Sticking to the code.
Thanks everyone for checking out the show. I'm Sean Fitzy.
I'm Paulie.
And I'm Aaron.
And this is the Echo Chamber. Project Genesis is upon us, and we have a lot to talk about. We got GMEWS, probably some MewTwos, maybe even some UWOs. How's it going, guys?
Doing all right. I had to look that one up, but I'm doing all right. How are you?
Yeah, all right. I felt I honestly didn't even want to say it, but I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to make my daughters cringe.
And make them as uncomfortable as possible.
Yeah, every episode. So last week it was K-pop Demon Hunters in the intro, and I was bumping it as I was dropping her off at school. It was she could not. She had to hide. Yeah, the week before it was like a 6-7 reference. So I'm on a roll here.
Nice.
Play this probably Thursday morning as I drive them to school. So
it's fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. We got Aaron with us. How you doing, Aaron?
Yeah, I'm all right. I've had the worst illness known on Earth. It's called man flu.
That's what I was going to say. It sounds like the man flu.
Yeah, but I'm slowly getting back to normal. Friday we had a good stream, and I did struggle with my energy and stuff, but I needed to do it. It made me feel good. It was a good one, and I'm back in the dojo and back to it, and planning my trips and stuff. But no, I'm all right.
Yeah, that's good shit.
Glad to have you here with us.
Oh yeah, definitely. 4 hours and man flu. That's a pretty good stream, bro. Good job.
Yeah.
So all right, and Paulie, how are you doing, man?
Doing all right. Yeah, it's been a busy week. Last week I got to be a guest on another podcast, so that was kind of neat. Got to feel like a little bit of a mini celebrity getting invited as a guest on someone else's show for a change, and that was Let's Hang with Fernand, and I know Aaron's been on there twice, I believe. So that was actually a really cool experience. So I didn't really know Fernand very well going into that, but we had a really, really good conversation. And it was really just like it was the two of us. And so for anyone who's not familiar with his format or the spaces that he runs, he does this live on X Spaces, and there isn't really any priming beforehand. Like you just kind of go into it. Like you set a time and you just go. And he asked some really thoughtful questions, I thought. And like we just had a really, really good conversation, kind of got into some pretty meaningful and thoughtful topics. And it was a little over 2 hours, I think, if I remember right. And yeah, I had a really good time. And I would liken it to, in terms of format and cadence and style, like a Joe Rogan or Lex Fridman style of interviewing and podcasts. Like I would lean more toward Lex Fridman than Joe, but yeah, it was really good. I had a good time.
Yeah, I listened to it. You guys both did really well. I tried to get Fernand in the Discord. He's not a big Discord guy, but
that's fair.
Yeah, a lot of people aren't, but yeah, I thought it was really cool. I liked the format of it. Yeah, he should get him on like a service like Apple Podcasts or something like that, because I know they're on X. Is there a way to see? He doesn't put them on YouTube or anything else, huh?
Yeah, I don't think that he does publish them anywhere else, but I think it would be cool if he would just like take the audio files from his spaces and just push those out to like an RSS service, kind of like like what we do with Podbean and anything, and just push them out. So yeah, because he's got good content, and he's very, very good at what he does. He does good research beforehand, and he was upfront. He's like, I try not to let Grok do all the research for me. I was like, that's cool. Like it's pretty funny. So
yeah,
but yeah, like he's a cool guy. Like he lives in Puerto Rico, and
Oh,
Yeah.
Bad Bunny, right? That's
But yeah, had a great time. But yeah,
Sweet.
I think it'd be cool to have him on the show with us sometime.
Yeah, I agree. We'll get that figured out. Kind of got to be in the Discord a little bit. Got to get a green room and everything. So, but we got
It
some
helps,
folks. We got some folks who've joined just to be on the show with us. So,
Right.
we'll figure it out. Speaking of YouTube and such things, Aaron, you're working on all kinds of shit with your streams. I think it's really cool. You got like YouTube chat mixing with what? Like not Spaces, Twitter Spaces chat,
Yeah,
mixing,
Twitter. Yeah,
and
yeah.
Twitch.
So we've got. That's right. So this platform that I've been kind of working on, which is we discussed it a little bit last time, but I was only just getting it working back then, and I'm very, very confident in it now. It's working, and
that's great.
It's basically for people that don't know anything about streaming. Most people just choose a platform and stick with it. I didn't want to assign myself only with X because I don't like it, and but the problem is that's where all my good friends and the GameStop people are. So a lot of them are on YouTube as well, but they've got like anonymous accounts and things like that where they're not necessarily wanting to blend their GameStop stuff on Twitter with their YouTube stuff, and I get it. Whereas I'm much more just I am who I am, and I'm the same on every platform, but everybody's different.
Yeah.
And so I wanted to stream on YouTube because I know that you get a lot of gaming and Pokemon stuff on there, and the concept is get power packs and get GameStop out there to the people that are not just in our nerdy little community. Because at the end of the day, even a lot of our investors are not that interested in power packs if they're not Pokemon people. Or if they're not, the football packs are doing well, but definitely not obviously the same hype and stuff as the Pokemon packs are. So I'm just thinking out loud, actually. It's probably a good idea for Paulie and I to discuss pushing the football packs in that manner as well, actually, because you might be able to get NFL fans and things like that involved. But anyway, the point is, there's
especially this time of year.
Well, this is it, and there's a shit ton more. I hesitate to say it, but there's a shit ton more Pokemon fans out there than there are GameStop fans. So at the end of the day, we're part of a huge but relatively niche community that are investors and supporters and so on. But these people are just nerds over the cards, nerds over the games, nerds over the things like Pokemon Go, where you go around and whatever. And already I'm getting people asking me, what are these? Are these NFTs, or are they real, or are they physical? And this is what it's about. Like, it's not just posting it all out on Twitter and we're all just giving each other a pat on the back, like, oh yeah, nice Pikachu or whatever. It's doing well, and I plugged the Twitch in, and the Twitch hasn't really done anything yet. I'm not bothered. The fact is, it's going out to Twitch. I had a random guy come on Twitch the other night, and he was commenting, and he got involved with the stream. And then I've got a load of YouTube people jumped on that I didn't know. They're subscribing to the channel because they like Pokemon, not because they're necessarily GameStop people. So
that's what I wanted. I was interested. So you're starting to see some people that are not from GameStop community on X stumble across your streams. You're starting to see that a little bit.
And that was the idea. And yes, I am. Yeah. So not in droves yet, but it takes time. And I got up to something like 100 subscribers just from GameStop people, where I was saying on Twitter, can you subscribe to me and share the stuff and whatever. And literally after the last stream, we're nearly at 200 already. So it's like, it's not anywhere near what you're seeing on Twitter and that, but that's taken time to build up, and this thing is just doing very well. And then TikTok as well. So I'm posting the clips on TikTok, but I figured out that TikTok is actually doing the best, but you can't stream to TikTok through a multi-platform unless you have X number of followers. So it's really frustrating. So my platform is basically like a restream platform where that's what Paulie and I and stuff were looking at originally, where you pay them to push it out to multiple platforms. TikTok doesn't actually let you do that unless I think it's 500 followers or something. It's a bit like Twitter's system for earning ad revenue. You know? And they say once you have X amount of followers and this many views and this and that, then we'll allow you to use this protocol which is needed to kind of plug into the streaming software. And
all right.
So
I guess that kind of makes a little sense. It helps cut down on the excessive spam or anything like that. So a little bit of gatekeeping isn't bad.
Yeah, for sure.
It's no different to Apple with their phones and stuff, is it? But this is just on a smaller scale. It's saying like, essentially prove you're not a bot, and then we'll let you use this protocol. You know, so
yeah. Even though a bot could easily get to 500 followers, right? With a bot farm. Yeah.
But no, it's doing well, and I got a bit. You know, I am. You guys know me. Like I'm in a fun way competitive with others, but with myself. I'm very competitive, you know.
Yeah.
It's silly because with others I do it in a silly way, whereas with myself I get on my case, and you know, if I do it with my business, I do it with everything. And as soon as the stream started dropping, the numbers started dropping, and Paulie was noticing it, and Rich was noticing it, and we're thinking, are we going to carry on with this? You know, more and more people are getting access to power packs now, and maybe the reason we were so popular is because there was limited access.
Right.
When actually, I think the reason the streams did so well initially is because it was all just new.
Yeah, the novelty.
Yeah.
And probably people weren't able to do it, right? Like, so
there is that. There's definitely that as well.
A little bit of both.
Yeah.
But there's that element of people are still tuning in, even though they do have access.
Yeah.
And even though it's not a novelty anymore. And that's nice. You know, the initial novelty's worn off. And I've just said to myself, you're not going to get 8,000, 10,000 on every stream, and it's not going to keep going up and up and up. It might do eventually. Who knows? You know, that Paper Tiger guy on YouTube is doing really well. And but he's built an organic fan base of Pokémon, not GameStop, which is what I was saying before. And at the end of the day, he's using the GameStop platform, but he doesn't have the same passion for it like we do, and he doesn't necessarily need it or want it to succeed like we do. Whereas we've got that actual passion for the product and the people that are running it. He just uses it because it's there as a platform, and he's getting the viewers, and they love Pokemon. So there's a different reason, you know. But I watch him and I like him, and I take inspiration from the way he does things and whatever. And it's just going well. And
I feel like YouTube's the spot to go when it comes to like even. We have our YouTube channel, by the way. Anyone listening, you can go check it out. Are you Roaring Sensei? Is that what you are on all platforms?
Yes. Okay, yeah, I've put that as all of the I've literally just last night, actually, because I was thinking about it. A lot of people will know Peruvian Bull on Twitter.
Yeah.
And he, a few months ago, was talking about including his real name in his handle. And
he did.
So he has done that. Yeah, he's Roberto Rios there, but he's kept his handle the same.
Right.
Whereas I'm actually going the other way, where if I'm expanding and the risk of idiots and weirdos, you know, catching on. So last night, I've actually changed my name on Twitter from Aaron to Roaring Sensei because as time goes, my handle was, been Roaring Sensei for a long time, but I've done the same on YouTube, TikTok, and Twitter because I thought you guys that all know me will just know me as Aaron. But if things do sort of expand and start, 5,000, 10,000, 20,000, like I don't really want people creeping into too much of me and whatever. And then the other side,
yell at us for using. You're gonna big time us. Yell at us for using your name. It's not Aaron. Yeah, I know. I can see this coming.
Call me Sensei.
Call me Sensei.
But no, it's that thing of, and then there's the other side, which is sounds a bit silly, but like branding and stuff as well. So,
For
Peruvian
sure.
Bull was talking about that specifically as well. This show, for example, it's not Fitzy's podcast. Like, it's got its own name and identity, and it's the same if you want to do well on a social media platform. People are not going to remember to search for Era Milan Vega. It's people remember the Sensei bit. They remember the Roaring because of Kitty. I've had some slash back on that. I mean, Roaring Pika's the same. There's a few people that took the Roaring, and it was in honor of the main man. It was not to try and replicate him or pretend to be him. And afterwards, I did think about that because somebody said it, like something to the effect of, anybody that calls themselves Roaring anything is just a fucking idiot. Like they're just trying to copy Kitty and whatever. And I thought, I never really thought about it that way, because once again, I'm not being all negative about it like you people are. I saw it as a bit of a an ode of respect to the guy. Like, I teach my
you can pay homage without copying.
Yeah. There's gonna be a shithead out there that talks shit about any choice you would have made, especially on X. No, I like it. I think that's kind of the worst part of trying to do something like that we're doing, at least for me, is the branding stuff, or just like promotion. That just is it's not fun. But I'm trying to do all that through the Echo Chamber channel or Echo Chamber account, so that like I can leave my own feed to be GameStop stuff every now and then. It's a tough balance though, because like, you should be promoting the show you're doing. We want people to listen to this show. We're doing pretty good though. We're getting like surges of new listeners pretty much every week now. So
nice.
Yeah.
Like I said to you the other day, it's you just said it straight back to me. You're always just going to get your dickheads that put everything down because they're either too afraid to do it themselves or they don't have the confidence or whatever. And I'm not going to go into any individuals or specifics, but I've definitely noticed people that have changed with me since I started doing the streams. And people that I considered to be decent and friendly, and I was part of a little community with them almost, have kind of gone silent on me. And it's all in their head. It's either they don't like me because I'm too over the top or too crazy or something, or, oh, look at this guy, it'll be that. I bet you any money for some of them, it'll be that, oh, I bet you he turns it into a grift. I bet you he turns it into a money-making scheme or something. Because that tends to be where their head goes. And it's this really cynical kind of way of thinking, And
we got a lot of that though. I mean, it's a fine line to try to walk, is because there has been a lot of people that as soon as their accounts start getting bigger, they start asking for money, and it's really for no good reason that they're trying to get money.
Absolutely.
So there's it just tends to happen, but not every time. We're not over here trying to ask for money from anybody. We're just doing this shit, I guess, as a hobby. Is it a hobby? I don't know. I guess podcasting is a hobby. I mean, I do it because I've always done my account as a way to kind of keep everyone informed on their number one investment, because I know how it is with GameStop. I am obsessed. So I stare at the chart all day. So I've always thought of my posts and now the podcast as a way to help people that don't necessarily have the time or the obsession that I do with the ticker, to keep them informed and them on, up to date on all of their. So that's kind of how I look at it. But I don't know. Some people think that they deserve money for having followers, and that's it. I don't get it.
I mean, I was going to be yelling into a paper bag on the internet anyway, and I'm just glad to be here because you decided to ask me to help you start the podcast late last year. So,
that's it.
We're all privileged to know each other and, get together every now and then. And, we get together and make jokes and have fun talking about something that we all enjoy and have in common. It's
exactly.
We have a cool community that we're a part of, and it's fun. It's something that I think we'd be doing anyway. We just we happen to have a medium that makes it easier to organize behind. So, it's sort of the magic of the internet and modern technology.
Yeah, it's all super interesting how like the community has changed over the last couple of years, because I think there's a lot of GameStop Discords out there now as well. It's like X is where we go to get information, but it's really hard to have like a group conversation at all on X. And I don't know if GameStop's not moving up, and everyone's just looking to fucking argue with me, is what it seems like on X. It's crazy. Like sometimes they're just, I don't even get to say good morning before they're like talking shit to me. I blocked quite a few people last week. It was kind of like that. But I've gotten a lot quicker with that myself. If you are addressing me immediately like an asshole, like I'm not even going to take the time to try to like, talk to you, because I will most of the time. Like I'll give you a troll. We can have a little back and forth. It'll be funny. But if you show up on another post trolling me, you're going to get blocked. And I've almost not even given it back.
Worth it.
No, it really isn't. And I think it's a lot of the same motherfuckers.
And I was finding myself falling for the bait, which I never do, which is like a bit of a double. It was like a double bluff, where it was like I was blocking people left, right, and centre at one point, especially back during the earlier part of the year, where I was kind of struggling a bit and with some things, and then essentially was getting called out. Oh, this guy just blocks people. He just wants to be in an echo chamber. And
let's go.
And I'm like, how fucking dare you? I'm going to unblock you, you prick. So I was kind of like falling for the bait, and then you realise, no, there's a reason I blocked him, because he's a fucking prick, and I don't need to have a discussion with him, because I can't have a discussion with him, because he just is impossible. And, we've had our discussions about certain individuals where they can be negative and this and that. I'm not talking about people that are being negative on the stock or negative on the company or whatever. I'm just talking about being a dick. Yeah. And that's where I just draw my line. Like, no, I'm sorry. Like, and I've realized now doing the streams more and more, that is where we're all coming together in like a hub. You know, like what you said about like the Discord and things like that. It's you're right. You can't really do that on X. Like you miss people's posts and things like that. Group chats are a fucking mess on Twitter. Yeah. And it's that thing of when I'm on the stream, I can react in real time. And the only thing that would be better is if there was more, cameras on and people could talk. But then it would be a bit of a Zoom call. It'd be a bit nuts. Like it would be a bit much. But
it gets hard after like 3 people. Like this show.
It does.
This show is good for 3 people. If we get to 4, it starts getting difficult.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, it depends on what kind of show. Like the earnings show, we're good.
I've never done one of those because I don't do group. I don't. I need the spotlight all on myself. So I can't.
You're too big time for that. It's just hard. Like, no.
The thing is, there'll be some people listening to this that will actually believe that and be like, "Yeah, he's a fucking dick. He just wants all the spotlight on himself. Yeah, a fucking idiot."
Yeah. No, I think you just don't really like that many people all at once, huh? Like in your ears, like all around.
That's right. Yeah, it's a sensory thing, and I'm the same with any kind of interaction with noise. Where if I'm in a Discord and I can just dip in and out and it's text, I don't give a shit. That's fine. It's the crammed noise, and when do I speak and when do I listen, and it's that thing of I said to you about the camera as well, didn't I? Where if I can see you and I can see Paulie now, like I can tell when he's about to speak, so I can kind of like, okay, back off. Whereas if it's just wait, oh no, we've just spoken over each other and stuff like that, and so turn your damn camera on, Fitzy, because
I'm sitting here with my old man glasses on, which is a new thing for me. It's raining outside, so I got a hoodie going and some sweats. I'm home for the day, so
nice.
That's about the description. I did the camera like once or twice, but I don't I don't know. I'm not a big fan of a
No,
camera
I get it.
being in my face. Yeah. Okay. Forgot where something else I wanted to get into. I think. Oh, well, I do like. I want. I guess we can talk. Maybe not on the show, but I think there's a chance for the show to use your service and do a Twitter live. Goddamn it, a Twitter space, and simulcast. Does it work in Discord too? Would it? I wonder.
I mean, I've never tested it. I've only used. I know it can connect to the streaming services. TikTok, YouTube.
Yeah.
I don't know about Discord, and Twitter Spaces are not the same as a stream.
Right.
So I don't know about Spaces, but
but you're doing definitely. What are you using though on Twitter? Is that not a space? It's a live stream. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
it's a live stream. It's a live stream.
It's a broadcast, so it's a single speaker sort of thing.
It would be fun to do that, but can you bring multiple people up, or is it only you? Is that what you just said, Paulie? I'm sorry.
My current setup, I'm the only one, but that's not to do with my service. That's just to do with the way I've got my stream set up.
Yeah.
So I could set up my stream and have a dual speaker by bringing in. There's ways you can do it and stuff, but for the power pack stuff, you don't need to do that.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Just an idea.
It's worth,
it would be fun to actually do an actual live episode on Twitter and then have it stream, I guess, to YouTube. What I really need to do is be able to record it, not using OPS or whatever that shit is.
OBS.
I use. Well, this is it. I use Prism, which is a much more lightweight Chinese version of OBS, and I have never recorded it using that until the other day for the first time. What I normally do is I just take the recordings from Twitter or YouTube because the live streams save afterwards, and then I'll just make my little clips. But then I was realizing, well, hold on, I'm using streaming quality clips. I'm using the stream to create the clips, and they're they're not full HD, So I then tested it out the other day with Prism and recorded it, and it just did it seamlessly. And so now I'm using Prism to record, plugging my server in, and then pushing out from there to the different bits and bobs. And now I've saved that video file just straight down on my Google Drive. I pulled it down onto my phone, and I'm just clipping from there and creating the little clips for TikTok and stuff.
Nice.
But,
you're going viral on TikTok because you beat the shit out of a soccer player, a football player.
Yeah, let me check that right now. So that was 170.
That's crazy.
It's now 100. It's now at 180,000 views since we started. Another 10,000 views since we started. But I just did a stupid. I went to St James's Park, which is the Newcastle United Stadium where I live, and Alexander Isak was our main striker for anybody that likes soccer, and he's just signed for Liverpool in the summer, and he did this whole thing where he refused to play and he was throwing his toys out of the pram. And I don't know whether you get this kind of thing with the NFL or the basketball or whatever over there, but he was under contract with us and he was actually refusing to play for us.
Oh yeah, we get that.
It's insane. You're getting paid, the equivalent of in dollars, probably $400,000 a week to play for this team. And you're sitting at home going, oh, I'm injured. So he eventually moved. Yeah, exactly. He eventually moved to Liverpool, but I met the guy a couple of years ago because I got. This is weird actually because it's related to the stocks. I used to be with the broker. Well, I use that term loosely. eToro, that was my first broker because I didn't know anything about it. When I started, and because the amount I had invested in there, they gave me like a premium membership type thing where they'd give me tickets to events and blah blah blah. And the guy rings me up and he says, "You live in Newcastle, don't you?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, "Do you want some tickets to go and see the football?" And I said, "Yep, obviously." And he said, "What about a box?" And I was like, "What about a box? You tell me." And he said, "Well, hold on. Actually, rather than the box, do you want to sit in the directors area?" And I was like, do I want to sit in the director's area? Are you shitting me? And so I literally sat 3 rows down from the owner of the football club, all the board and everything. There was a load of old ex footballers that used to play. And when we went in for our dinner, and we had like this lovely dinner and all this, all on the house, everything on the house, Isaac actually came in, and we didn't expect him to come in, and did a little, we're so happy to win the match and blah, blah, blah. So I had this picture, of course, of me with Isaac, and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to create a stupid little video of me just... Originally, it was, I'm going to kick him in the balls. And the AI didn't really like it. Grok wasn't happy with that. It was not realistic. It was funny, but it wasn't realistic. So I was like, do you know what? I'll just slap him in the face. And it's so good. And
it is good.
I've whacked it on all the platforms. And for some reason, TikTok just bloody loves it. It's gone up another 1,000 views since I started this story. And it's just
funny.
insane.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping you throw in a little random video like that, and it might, you get a few more little followers than that, and then all of a sudden they start seeing the Pokemon stuff, they start seeing the Power Pack stuff, and you just think, let's see what we can do,
Yeah, that's good shit. I have a TikTok. It's me. I think I want to make one for the... I actually might have made one for this show. I just don't use it. But yeah, TikTok's cool. Actually, that's actually my favorite platform to surf. I like to... It makes me smile. It's way happier for me than X is. Okay, so I wanted to talk a little bit about Power Packs before we went into the week and GMEWS, and kind of can transition to that from the stream. I'm just wondering, like, how have the pools been going on your stream, Aaron? How's that going for you? You getting any nice cards?
In general, good for everybody else, and not for me.
Yeah.
So, no.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Larry. Appreciate that.
Oh no, he's blocking me down. Like, he knows when I'm going to pull, and he just presses the button.
He's pulling the levers, and he's just doing a great job.
Yeah.
But no, Normie has become a bit famous on our streams because she's like a friend of mine from Manchester, and she's just this lovely lady who is invested in GameStop, and she was never a Pokemon collector, and she just said to me,
she
I want to
sure
support
is
your stream.
now.
Yeah, I know. And so all in all, she's pulled a lot of cards, like in terms of starters and silvers and things like that, but everybody knows her as being the one who pulled the Luigi Pikachu, where that was a 500 platinum, and that was very early on. That was like when I was still recording it with my phone and just testing things out and whatever. And then in the one, not just that we had the other day, but the one before, she pulls a diamond pack and gets a $7,800 who was it? Mew? I think it was Mew. Yeah. Huh. And the hilarious bit was I was going to pull first.
Yep.
And so I was going to go diamond first and then do hers. But I thought, you know what? I'll be the Billy Big Bollocks and I'll go last. I'll be the last one of the show and take all the attention because I need everybody to love me. And then Normie pulls the fucking Mew, and I was like, well, I'm not doing that now, am I? So we'll just leave it there, shall we? Because she's been incredible. And then the other one that's had a lot of luck is
your dad? Was it actually your dad? I noticed that.
Yeah, my dad's been on the stream, but he's actually been really unlucky.
Oh yeah,
like, really unlucky.
I thought it might be like a Twitter handle called My Dad, but
no, he's literally he's just on YouTube. He's just using his real name, and he's just coming on to support, and
that's
he's
cool.
just been pulling starter packs for like my nephews and nieces and that, and every single pack he's got has been like it's a $12 card, a $15 card. I'm like, fucking hell, Dad, we need to get you a good one, But he's done about 7, and they've all just been duds. Like the best one has been like a push where he's got like 25, and it's been worth like 24, And but no, there was somebody else, but they've not done as well as Normie. We've had a couple of people doing quite well. Chips has done quite well, and Ian's done quite well. But just very supportive people. And Jim Zimmer came on, who a lot of people know from the community, and
Great guy.
Yeah.
Very lovely guy who's really open and, again, bit like me, just doesn't care what you invest in. He's open to all different conversations and ideas and whatever. And he won my Christmas giveaway last year that I did. It was I think it was $250, and I just said, send me some topics that you're interested in of things I could buy you from GameStop. So, Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon or Sonic or whatever. And he just sent me a list of about 8 different, areas of interest. And I just went mental and just bought him a load of stuff. And him and his girlfriend were, I'm sure he won't mind me saying because he was posting about it at the time, but he was going through a bit of a rough time and struggling a bit and whatever. And he just said, you don't realize how grateful we are and blah, blah, blah. And then thankfully now he's doing a lot better. And
that's really
he says
cool
to me, I'd like to donate to your stream because I saw your post about the, you're going to do another Christmas giveaway. And you've been doing these charity pools and that. He said, so what I'll do is I'll give the 250 that you gave me back to you. I'll give you 50 for the Christmas giveaway, and then I'll give you 200 for power packs where you just spend it on the community or however you want. And I was like, fucking hell, this is insane. So I just sat there, and then it turned into 400. So he just is, clearly I'm very happy for him, doing a lot better. And he said, I just want you to give 2 of these packs to my friend and his kid, and the rest you can do whatever you want with it. And we were pulling for the Children's Miracle Network again, which is where the stapler money went, the GameStop stapler.
Yeah.
And then we've been doing this British charity, which is the Trussell Trust, which is food banks over here. That I'm sure you have the same kind of thing there.
Yeah.
And then one person said to me, you'll probably remember this, Sean. Years ago, they did like a fundraising for one of the gorilla charities, where it was like apes support apes, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So it was actually Curious Cat who's in the echo chamber. Said, can we give it to the Diane Fossey Gorilla Fund? So we've not only been given to community, but then back to people, and then loads of people on the stream then said, oh, do you know what? Just sell mine and give the money to the charity. And I was just like, oh, do you know what? These people are they're just incredible. Like, it's just been so nice. And it's made me realise that all that shit you see on Twitter, it's not real. It's bots, and it's idiots, and it's angry people, and they're just shouting into a void, and they'll just shout at anybody that will listen to them. And as I said to you on the last podcast, I can engage with some of them and have a good conversation, and actually you're not going to get through to me because they're not being nasty to me. They're just down and depressed and stressed, and that's a different story. I'm on about the ones that are just nasty and hateful. Like, I genuinely think now a lot of them are not real. They're just bots.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Or, I can see that. Or just like, because AI is getting better with some of these things. You can kind of see. Or just like I was saying, like the one person that you blocked, I know this happens quite a bit. They just create their alts. It'll happen. Like, you'll block some dude and he'll show up, like another account will show up saying the same shit like 5 minutes later. Like, all right, bro, come on. You just blew that alt now too, because I'm blocking your ass. Exactly. So I don't know. I'm looking. So power packs are still in beta. Last time we did our show, they had run out of starter for Pokemon, but those are back, right? I feel like they expanded the beta some more.
They have, and the main bit about the starters, which definitely needs mentioning, I don't know if you mentioned it on the last show, is that they've actually been buffed. So the starter packs have actually been buffed. So the old minimum pull from a starter pack was $5. And the complaint about that was all the other packs, the drawdown is a max of 50%.
Yep.
Yeah.
So if you're pulling a silver pack, you're guaranteed a $25 card. So rather than pulling 2 starters, it makes no logical sense to do that. You might as well pull 1 silver, because you could get 2 $5 cards from a starter pack. The only argument for the starter pack back then was that It was the only pack out of the 5 that had a potential 20 times up value. So your max card from a 25 could have been $500. Whereas all the other packs, I mean, it's not to be sniffed at. They were only 16 times max upward value. So their argument was, well, all right, the drawdown is more, but also your max uplift is also higher. But no, give us the half, give us the 50%, and GameStop have listened. So they've increased that now to $12, which is just under 15%, under 50%. Sorry. So you now can't get any of these shitty $7, $8, $6 cards anymore.
I got,
and immediately, you pull a card and you see 2 figures, and immediately psychologically it makes you feel better than pulling a card that's worth 1 figure. It's So yeah, I was happy. I was happy as Larry with that. Excuse the pun. And it was. We tested it out on the stream, and we were definitely noticing the mood was better because it was 15, it was 20, it was 18. Rather than 7 and 9, and then we ended up getting a couple of chase cards as well. So it was. No, they've done well, and I put a little post out with for any of the nerds out there that want to actually look at the maths and want to look at the not just you got a better chance, but like how much of a better chance now that your max drawdown is 50% and you've still got a 50% up value. Like, what's your odds? What's the percentage value better? And it's dramatically higher than what it was. So it's nice to see.
Yeah, that one card, my one card is Malik Neighbors.
Yes.
Yeah, he's down for the year. He got hurt like 2 weeks ago. He's out for the season.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, terrible shit. So, I won't. I was going to pull
That is the distinct advantage that Pokemon have over sports cards.
Yeah, they're not. Well, I mean, but sports cards could have that advantage if, I don't know, someone blows up and has like a all-time season, but there is a significant risk reward parity between sports cards and Pokemon cards, and that a Pokemon card cannot have a season-ending injury or career-ending injury. But Pokemon also don't win championships or win MVP trophies, or
Well, if Jolteon doesn't hurry if Jolteon doesn't hurry the fuck up and come back, then he's going to have a career-ending injury. So, Larry, you better watch out because I'm going to break his legs. Sean, what was the number of your neighbour's card? Was it number 6?
What was like the PSA? I think it was like an 8.
No, like the cut, like because there's so many Malik Neighbours cards. I wanted to quickly look him up just to see
which.
I remember it having some red on there.
Yeah, let me.
I know I've got at least 1 or 2 Malik Neighbours cards in mine too.
Christ, there's like 50.
Yeah,
this is insane.
It is a fairly common card.
Yeah, I'm not having. I apparently got logged out of my PSA account too.
I have 5 Malik Neighbours cards in my collection right now.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's cool. He's dead. Well, not dead. He's out for the year. I feel like it's a curse. So
he's only mostly dead.
Yeah. Power packs, follow GameStop power packs. They're at power packs is a handle. They just put out cool shit. A $14,000 Charizard got pulled off a $1,000 diamond. Yeah. That's pretty fucking sweet. He put 1,000 into it, so that's nice. There also was a 3,900 Mewtwo. I told you at the beginning we'd talk about Mewtwo's.
Nice.
Just wanted to get that. That was pulled out of a $500 platinum pack. I don't know. It's just really cool shit. I love seeing it. And then the one that Nat Turner put out a really cool tweet about Pokemon cards have skyrocketed 3,821% since 2004.
Yeah, that chart has been making the rounds, so it's really nice to see Nat Turner giving it some street cred too.
Yeah, and that chart looks like if GameStop had its our January run, and then like the 2024 run from Kitty just kept going. That's what the chart looks like. It's just straight up.
That chart basically is a composite meme stock chart
Yeah.
overlaid over Meta and S&P 500 and sports cards. And so, like, I mean, if you look at a chart like that and you don't understand why Ryan Cohen has hitched his wagon to the collectibles horse, then I don't know how to spell it out any clearer for you. Like, this
Yeah.
is a flywheel. Like, there's a performance multiplier effect here where they can capitalize on the revenue, and Wall Street evaluates companies on forward PDE metrics. And I mean, it makes perfect sense. So I'm excited.
I am too. It's exciting. I'm excited that most of y'all are just holding your shit. I probably wouldn't be, but that means that most of the members of the community that are buying these cards are profiting. I know Rich had done a survey as well, kind of seeing how many people pull power packs, and
Right.
it just seems like a lot of the comments on all of this stuff is, that they're loading up their vault. So everyone's making money. You started to say that you got your cards back here.
Yeah, so I submitted back when I went over in the summer to San Diego. I took a load of cards with me and submitted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Pokemon cards. And I also am going to be the first and only person in the world to have submitted a Sonic Cybercell card. And not only a Sonic Cybercell card, but it's a 1 of 100 ultra rare card, which you can only get if you collect every single card in the collection. I'm almost there, but I actually bought this one on eBay because they've already all been collected.
Wow.
So you now can't get them anymore unless you buy these cards. So I bought it from eBay from some nerdy Sonic guy about 6 months ago or something. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to do this one specifically because you can get your rare cards and your hyper rares and all this, but anybody can pull them from the packs.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas these 1 out of 100 collectible only, I just thought, screw it. And I've got the Pokemon ones back. All I'm going to say is I'm happy with 3 of them. I'm satisfied with 1 of them, and I'm very unhappy with 2 of them. And it's not GameStop's fault. It's not PSA's fault. It's just when I took this specific, I'll say one of the ones I'm happy with, which is the Snorlax one, and I could not see anything on that card. I went with a fine-tooth comb and was looking, and Paulie, the Brooks has been coming on the streams. Brooks works at the Vista GameStop in near Oceanside, San Diego kind of area. And Brooks and Dante were looking at the card and they were like, mate, if this doesn't come back a 10, I'm going to be gobsmacked.
Yeah.
And it's come back a 6.
What?
Oh.
A 6.
Holy cow.
When I'm looking, and again, I'm not going to just throw my toys out the pram. They've obviously got pictures that they send to you of the front and back of the slab.
Mm-hmm.
There's a great big old scratch down the side of the card.
Oh, wow.
That was not there.
It wasn't there when you submitted it?
Absolutely not. So I've said to, and it's a case of, I understand these things are going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm not going to throw my toys out the pram. This is only, at a 10, this is only a $250 card anyway. It's not like some $5,000 card, but it's now, it's going to be, I could actually help people with this situation, because if something like this does happen, there'll be a process for it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it could be a good learning experience.
That's what I mean. And I'm not going to go all crazy about it and sound like I'm being all negative. These things happen. The card was put in the sleeve. So I absolutely don't have anything on GameStop for it, because I was there. I put them in the sleeves. I put them in the box. They've shipped them off. So it's got to be either
this
in
was
transit.
This was the one you
kind
did
of,
the video of the submission too, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, like the whole thing was documented.
There you go.
Very, very clearly.
So it's got to be either in transit. It's just bumped and scraped against the little case, or when it's been at the PSA, someone's handled it, maybe dropped it, maybe, you don't know. But like I can so clearly see this scratch on this card, and I'm like, I would not have submitted it. So I spoke to Brooks, and he's such a lovely guy, and he was like, listen, we've got the photos, you've got photos, and it doesn't have to be a big deal. They have not a complaints procedure, like they have a what do you call it when you like a challenge procedure where I don't. A lot of English people would see this as a bit of a negative thing. I just see it as like, well, this is just the system. Like I'm going to talk to them now, and I'm going to see what can be done.
Sure.
I like that you said English, like it's like a cultural thing. But go ahead.
Well, I didn't know, because English people in general are very cynical, and our sense of humor is quite negative and sarcastic and whatever. So I wasn't honestly really sure what the Americans were like with that kind of thing. Like in terms of
we have Karens out here. Karens.
Oh no, you've definitely got Karens. But it's kind of known as a bit of a British thing that like you don't complain, like it's like stiff upper lip, like you don't say anything, you don't cause a fuss, you don't cause a problem, But then when you go home, you bitch and moan and leave a 1-star review on TripAdvisor, and it's
I know that you guys
are you doing.
I know that you guys are really good at queues, is what you call it.
They'll queue right up.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. We're a bunch of weirdos. Like, whereas I'd rather just say to the manager in the restaurant, like, listen, this has happened. Can we sort this out? Like, you don't need to. I'm not going to sue you or some shit. Like, it's just. Whereas a lot of English people will bitch and moan and go home and leave a 1-star review. And I think I was kind of joking, but like a lot of Americans, to sue is quite normal, isn't it? For things if you've been impacted and stuff like that. But I'd rather just say something to their face. And the same with the PSA. Like, I'm just going to say to them, listen, that was not there. Yeah. What's the process for this? I'm not complaining. I'd just like to know what to do.
Yeah.
Like, do you know who I am?
Yeah.
Do you know who I am, you bastards?
Yeah. Well, and like Aaron, you own a business, and I've run businesses as well, and I think that what a lot of people may not understand if they haven't run a business firsthand is that most businesses, at least the way I look at it, is that a business is not defined by whether or not it never fails to follow through 100%. But I think a business is really defined by how it handles when it falls short.
Totally.
And so like this is an opportunity to kind of get a firsthand look at exactly how that situation goes, because
exactly right.
Because no one's ever going to bat 1,000, right? Like you're going to have,
there's going to be mistakes,
right?
Sure.
Like situations like that happen. That's why there is insurance on cards. Now,
exactly right.
An interesting thing about the submission process and the way that GameStop handles the coverage for their bulk submissions is that you have $500 per card coverage on your submissions through GameStop for both the trading card games and the sports and other category. If you're going through direct to PSA and you're doing the bulk or the value, like anything that's considered like the non upper tier submission categories, those are also $500 unless it is trading card games. Trading card game submissions direct to PSA are $200 per card. Unless you go up to a higher tier. So GameStop's insurance on the Pokemon cards is actually a higher insurance coverage than if you were going direct to PSA. So that's
I wonder if that's good money for them, like insuring a card. It always seems like warranties and stuff are good money makers for businesses. I know back in the day.
It's mostly on the shipping side,
Yeah.
you know, just to make sure that nothing happens to a package in transit. But they are effectively saying, like, once this card comes into our custody, we're covering up to $500 of value, you know, and you know that's but I don't know what that process looks like for, you know, saying, okay, well, we know what the card looks like from the grading side, but here's a picture of what it looked like when it was submitted. And when those two things are not the same, I am very curious to see what that resolution process looks like, because I think that will, you know, that'll be a really good learning experience more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know how it ends up.
So like it sucks that it happened, but I think that it's a great opportunity for PSA and GameStop to shine if they handle it well.
Exactly right. And this is it. And this is what I've always been like with everything. And I think I'm starting to understand now what you've just said, which is anytime I'd ever mention anything that GameStop had done wrong, you know, and I'm using air quotes now, which obviously people can't see, but
chill.
Yeah, it's you know, that's it, you're a fucking shill, this and that. And I'm like, well, hold on. You know, there was that big huff and puff last year about the gift card problem, which never really got resolved.
Oh, bro. I don't even want to get started there.
And honestly, I was like, guys, this does need to be fixed. We can't just all hush about this. Like, there was so many people, Skylar, like your friends of mine, that were like trying to buy gift cards for people for Christmas and this and that, and just not receiving their gift cards.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, they not only need to be made aware of that, but they need to know how important it is, because it's happening on mass scale.
Right.
And what, in my opinion, should happen there is a public thing should be put out, like what they do, like what they did with the starter packs, where they were like, we've heard you, we've changed the starter packs. Now, that, I think, as a small business owner, I do that with my group, where I'll send them we've got a big old WhatsApp group chat with about 400 people in it, and I'll just say, this has been changed because, and you'll get loads of like love heart reactions and emojis and this, because people just know that you're listening. And at any time I ever mention anything like that in the past, why don't you just DM them? Do you not think I've already done that, you fuckwit? Like, I've already sent them messages and emails and this and that. My last resort is, I've not heard anything, and actually this is quite important. I'd like you to see it. I'm not going to go on and leave you a 1-star review on Google like what I just said all the morons do. And then if other people are having that experience, they can jump in, and you don't have to be nasty about it. But I was realizing what Paulie said. I was coming from the side of, I run a business, and I'd just like you to see this to improve. Whereas everybody else was taking my comment as, listen to this bitchy, moany wanker, like, all he's doing is being negative. And I'm like, do you not realize I've spent like $1,000 at GameStop this month? Like, what are you talking about? Because you're only seeing it from your side, of course, and they're only seeing it from theirs. So it's difficult.
Yeah, just don't tag Ryan Cohen. I think, you know, we got these people tagging Ryan Cohen and talking. Yeah, it's just a lot. So, all right. I want to take a break here. We got warrants, GMEWS to talk about. We got, you know, chart price action on both of those to kind of go over. And I think, yeah, that's probably it. We'll cover those things and whatever else comes up. But give us about 2 minutes here and we'll get going again.
All right, this one looks good. You know what? I gotta use the restroom super quick. You know what I just realized is that I don't have a. What I should have is like a quick video or something to put on. What I should do is I could mix all the. I mean, you probably seen the damn Roaring Kitty videos. A bunch I play them out at the beginning and the outro and stuff. But I should at least put those videos together to play, as like a break or something. Anyway, I thought about it. I should have. I haven't done OBS in like a couple of months. I've been focusing on like some videos and the templates and stuff. But I could probably add some more stuff to OBS on that front. I'll give that some thought. Anyway, I'll be right back. I'll be right back in like 2 minutes. You know what I can do is I can do the countdown again, and then we'll go to the opening. I apologize. I know I played it at the beginning, but I guess that's all I got right here. Just so you guys something to watch. I'll be right back. Give me 2 minutes. Thank you, Chairwoman Waters, Ranking Member McHenry, members of the committee. I'm happy to discuss with the committee my purchases of GameStop shares and my discussions of their fair value on social media. It is true that my investment in that company multiplied in value many times. For that, I feel enormously fortunate. I also believe the current price of the shares demonstrates that I've been right about the company. A few things I am not. I am not a cat. I am not an institutional investor, nor am I a hedge fund. I do not have clients, and I do not provide personalized investment advice for fees or commissions. I'm just an individual whose investment in GameStop and posts on social media were based upon my own research and analysis. I grew up in Brockton, Massachusetts. My family was not wealthy. My father was a truck driver and my mom a registered nurse. I was one of 3 kids and the first in my family to earn a 4-year college degree when I graduated from Stonehill College in 2009. That was not a good time to be looking for a job. From 2010 to 2017, I worked at a few startup companies, but there were significant periods when I was unemployed. I took an interest in the stock market, and even though I had very little money, I used those times to educate myself and learn more about investing. In April 2019, after nearly 2 years unemployed, I accepted a marketing and financial education job at MassMutual. My wife Caroline and I were thrilled that I had an income and benefits. My job was to help develop financial education classes that advisors could present to prospective clients. I was not a stockbroker or a financial advisor. I did not talk to clients, and I did not recommend stocks for them to buy. Before and after I joined MassMutual, I studied and followed stocks. One of those was GameStop. In early June of 2019, the price of GameStop stock declined below what I thought was its fair value. I invested in GameStop in 2019 and 2020 because, as I studied the company, I became more and more confident in my analysis. 2 important factors, based entirely on publicly available information, gave me confidence that GameStop was undervalued. First, the market was underestimating the prospects of GameStop's legacy business and overestimating the likelihood of bankruptcy. I grew up playing video games and shopping at GameStop, and I plan to continue shopping there. GameStop stores still provide real value to consumers and reliable revenue for GameStop. Second, I believe that GameStop has the potential to reinvent itself as the ultimate destination for gamers within the rapidly growing $200 billion gaming industry. GameStop has a unique opportunity to pivot toward a technology-driven business. By embracing the digital economy, GameStop may be able to find new revenue streams that vastly exceed the value of its business. I am hardly the only person who has advocated these points. When I wrote and spoke about GameStop on social media with other individual investors, our conversations were no different from people in a bar or on a golf course or at home talking or arguing about a stock. Hedge funds and other Wall Street firms have teams of analysts working together to compile research and analyze shares of companies. Individual investors do not have those resources. Social media platforms like Reddit, YouTube, and Twitter are leveling the playing field. The idea that I use social media to promote GameStop stock to unwitting investors and influence the market is preposterous. My post did not cause the movement of billions of dollars into GameStop shares. It is tragic that some people lost money, and my heart goes out to them. But what happened in January just demonstrates again that investing in public securities is extremely risky. As I said earlier, I consider myself and my family fortunate with our investment. When the stock price broke $20 in December, I knew my investment was a success. I was so happy to visit my family in Brockton for the holidays. The money will go such a long way for us. We had an incredibly difficult 2020. Most difficult was the tragic and unexpected loss of my sister Sarah in June. I am grateful to be in a position to give back to and support my family. As for what happened in January, others will have to explain it. It's alarming how little we know about the inner workings of the market.
and I am thankful that this committee is examining what happened. I also want to say that I support retail investors' right to invest in what they want, when they want. I support the right of individuals to send a message based on how they invest. As for me, I like the stock. I'm as bullish as I've ever been on a potential turnaround for GameStop, and I remain invested in the company. Thank you. Cheers, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Gill.
All right, so we're back. I don't know. I need to figure out how to come back after these breaks. I've been the last few times we've been doing the break, I've been putting in a commercial. It was
After this message from our sponsors.
yeah. I was trying to think what it was. So it was Tylenol 2 weeks ago, and last week it was Reynolds Wrap. So
This time you could advertise a specific Power Pack stream.
oh yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a
You know,
It's almost
there's-
like half
there's-
the show was that though.
there's almost like a particular streamer that we could advertise for.
yeah.
Well-
his name's Rich. He's a good guy.
Oh yeah.
He is.
Yeah.
He is.
Oh yeah. Well, we did a commercial for GameStop last week too. Polly
Yeah.
and Robot
Nice.
did
Yeah.
in our break. They did a commercial, and then I just I heard it
Yeah.
and then clipped it up at the
Yeah,
start. It's kinda
I
fun.
talked about my brand new HyperX SoloCast microphone and the backup Razer microphone that I bought used, which I think is the same
Amazing.
one that you've got.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What was it called? I can't remember now. Siren V2
Yeah.
or whatever it's called.
Yeah, the Razer
Yeah.
Siren.
Nice shit.
Yeah.
All right, so we will move on into the week that was. It's Monday night. Aaron has had a man flu. We were supposed to be, I think it was Saturday we were going to record, but he wasn't feeling too hot, and he just done like a super long stream. So we are recording Sunday night. It is 7:22 on the East Coast right now. GameStop closed at $23.59. That was up 1.24%, off 5.75 million. We're going to be talking about GMEWS, at least for a year, right? Going forward. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to integrate it into our chart talk and everything. But GMEWS, that's right, GMEWS. How do you say it, Aaron? Do you say GMEWS?
GMEWS. Yeah.
GMEWS.
Yeah.
Polly,
No,
I think-
honestly, I just
See.
call them the warrants. I just call it
The
the warrants. Yeah.
No, yeah, you can call them the Warrens. You can call them GMUs. I particularly like the fact that GameStop has given themselves enough flexibility in the warrant agreement that they can issue additional warrants on the same series later if they
Alright.
want to. And if they did that, it would be a normal warrant convention for them to be GMEWS 1 and GMEWS 2. And so we would literally have like Pokemon names, like it would be, Mewtwo, so
Can we have GMEWS 1 Hollow?
yeah.
And GMEWS.
I would love to have a hollow certificate of
Yeah.
my
GMEWS 2 Shadowless.
yeah. Can we get IBY on those with the slab GMEWS certificates?
Yeah. I think I want to just call them Mews, MEWS, but I don't know. Maybe that'll catch on. Hey, it works. I remember when Kitty came back, I was trying to decide, like, I'd always called them DFV, but that transitioned into Kitty, I think, for me, for the most part. So
Yeah.
it's always fun to think about what we get into. So okay. And
since you brought up Kitty, it is worth noting that a mew is one of the sounds that a cat
Mew.
makes. So
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
kind of funny how that works.
Yeah. All right. So last week was pretty shitty. We are in OPEX week now.
Your favorite.
Yeah. Yeah. It goes from the worst week to my least favorite to my favorite week right after it. And we'll kind of talk about October, like the rest of it, because I don't like OPEX. I don't like the week of OPEX at all. We pretty much always We might catch a bid early in the week, but it always ends up just kind of what is expected. Max pain kind of thing. It happens a lot, but it always seems to happen on OPEX weeks. We've had like 1 or 2 moves. I think in September 2024, we had a move on the week of OPEX. And there's been other times, but for the most part, it's not very strong. But then we move into a very nice part of the year for GameStop, which is the very end of October and the very start of November. Sometimes it's just one day. In 2021, it was the Bed Bath & Beyond buyback news happened the third day of, I think, November 3rd. But, GameStop gets its move. They're just waiting for it or whatever. Maybe Bed Bath & Beyond did that on purpose. Maybe. I don't know, to provide cover for GameStop's move. 2022, I believe that was that the parabolic year? It might have been 2023, where S3 said GameStop might go parabolic, and like the next day it almost went parabolic for no reason, just because they said. And then we've had about a 20% run at the end of October pretty much every year. There's a meme I'll be putting out since 2021. So out of the frying pan into the fire. I don't know. But this week's not that great. Last week definitely wasn't great. We got our warrants. We got the GMEWS on Wednesday. Monday, we traded 11.5 million shares, closed down 1.3%. Tuesday last week was 10.7 million shares, down 2.7%. Wednesday, 7.1. So that was the first day of GMEWS trading. And I found it just the amount of volume is interesting. GMEWS traded 6 million shares while GameStop traded 7.1 million shares. And there was some pretty interesting activity when it came to Mews in after hours. I believe it was Thursday. Just big jumps all around. I know we're trying to settle in on what it's going to look like, and we need the chart to build itself out a little bit. But there's like 5% swings coming. It is $3, so it's easier to move 5%. But just in general, it's having some pretty big moves on decent volume. I think more than I was expecting. So Wednesday we were flat. Thursday down 1.39% off 11 million in volume. That one that was we started to see. So the option chain came out on Monday. We finally got our new option chain Monday last week. So there's GME 1 that is pre-warrants, and that is position close only. And then we got GME, the option chain, on Monday. It did not have weekly, so we got we got monthlies. So we got contracts for this week on Monday last week, and that was it. Since then, weeklies have been added. So, it's OPEX this week, but, you'll be able to play weeklies after that. So the option chain is building out. Thursday, it did not build out very great. There was a whole lot of calls sold. I think almost like $7 million worth of sold calls. And we kind of felt it on the chart for the rest of the week. I think that, I don't know, man. I'm trying to figure out, like, we're all expecting some hedging. Everyone got the Mews. Everyone got, all this extra, I guess, I don't know, cash in their account. And the bigger accounts are going to want to hedge that shit. So I'm sure we saw a lot of that. Friday, 9.7 million, down 3.2%. Friday was a shit show. It ended very ugly, just in general in the market. I think that was that when Trump brought up the Chinese tariffs? Was Friday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Friday. I don't know. Ugly day. After hours dropped us down to like 2250, I think, at the very end of the day Friday, which is kind of interesting just because everything in the market dumped and then bounced back right away. Feels like that could have been. I don't really count after hours or pre-market because you don't get a lot of volume to support it. But that kind of move all the way down to 2251, which is what we touched, and then all the way back up in after hours Friday, and then in pre-market today, and you just at up 1.3%. That's the kind of stuff you see when you get a bottom. I just wish that would have. I would wish that would have happened in regular trading. Yeah, we closed the earnings gap. That was on Friday as well. So the only gap to the downside that we have left is the YOLO gap. That is from October last year at $20.73. That's below our cash per share. They've had, we were talking about in the Discord, they've had ample opportunity to get us down there all year long, at least since February, since Greg fucked the cake. They've had a chance to get us down there into the 20s and under, and could not do it. And I don't think now that we got another $5 billion or whatever, and all this cash, they're gonna suddenly push us down below our cash per share. We're coming up on some pretty good support too on the bottom that dates all the way back to May of last year. So we're setting higher lows every single time. And if I follow that trend line, then the next higher low is in the 2270 area. I like falling wedges. I sometimes force them on my chart, but I see a nice falling wedge that could end right around that level, 2270 on the chart. So there might be some more downside in our future when it comes to just looking at the chart. I think that trend, that year-long trend, is going to hold. There's no reason for it to go down unless they just do some. Well, I was thinking about the market dumping. We got some taste of that on Friday. That's pretty much the only thing, like some terrible, terrible news in the market, or I don't know, RC just. Well, I forget the joke it was earlier today. RC investing in. Damn it! Never mind. I'm gonna mess up the joke, but it was just fucking in investing in people who cannot read so well. I think it's a Zoolander joke. Anyways, unless RC just shits the bed completely, we're not going. We're not going down to the 20s. So we got the gap at 2810. I look at these things a little bit like placeholders. That's the high that we got to during regular trading hours on the 2nd of October. That gap between there and 2842, when the bond was announced in June. That big old gap is still not filled. And that makes me feel very encouraged that will be kind of where we start heading next. I think we might catch a bounce in that high 22 range and then start making our way back up to the 28 area. Fill that gap at 28.42 would be wonderful. There is another gap at 29.41 between that and $30. Yeah, I think that if we start filling these gaps, we're gonna get above 30 pretty quick. But I don't know. I don't. We're not getting very much volume right now. This is feeling a lot like kind of what happened in July and maybe August as well, where they just kind of move us sideways on some low volume. I could see that continuing for us going forward for the next couple weeks, and then we catch our bid into the end of October. So yeah, GMEWS is looking nice. I'm loving that. There was only 57 million. I think it was 57 million issued, Pauly?
59
million. I did a post kind of breaking it down. I don't want to, there's going to be lots of activity. They're not getting pulled off. Like, we're not going to probably be able to lock the fucker, but I know retail is buying that thing up right now. We're seeing all kinds of posts. Everyone in the Discord is buying up the GMEWS.
Yeah, that was a very pleasant surprise that we were even allowed to open positions on that.
Yeah, that was cool. And then everyone just dove in, and I know Jake had a big old buy. And he got in there at like a low the other night too. So he's up. Everyone's looking good. It's basically an October call, October 2026. The price is almost 1/100th of a $32 October 2026 call. So that makes sense. But if you're wondering how it's going to move, you go look at a call option. That's kind of how it'll go. But it does have its own little independent, supply and demand as well. That is very interesting.
It's its own market.
Yeah, and we could. I feel like we might be able to do some damage there, especially if we get some help from, like, say, Kitty or some other person with some big pockets. So yeah, Polly found a terrible gap on the 1 minute chart for GMEWS. They definitely wanted to bring up because it's at 225. So GMEWS opened at 225 and then immediately shot up to 599.
Yeah.
On Wednesday.
1 minute later was not the same minute.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it has a gap. You won't see it on the 5 minute chart. Not all gaps fill. We were talking about that in the Discord too. We got one down at $4 for GameStop that'll never fill. We've had one that's been there since 2020. We have one at $78. That's been there since 2021. Not all of them fill, but there is one down there to keep in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So,
might be worth putting in a limit order, good till canceled, just in case. But also, I don't think anyone's going to care whether your cost basis is $3 or $2.35. So, on a warrant. So,
yeah, anytime I got some extra cash like in my account, I just buy a warrant. That's kind of what I'm doing now.
Yeah,
just get another GMU if I have some leftover change on a trade. Even though I'm trying to lay low on the trades this week, I made an announcement in the Discord that I'm going to try not to make any option trades this week.
Yeah, it feels like the most responsible thing to buy right now, right? Like, especially while volume is muted. Like, I mean, you're effectively buying a leap. It is something that will behave like an option in terms of its leveraged price movement, and it gives you the right to purchase GameStop later. And buying GameStop at $32 a share later is still a pretty good price. And I think a lot of us have cost basis above that on some of our buys. So, especially if you've been around longer than I have. But even my first two purchases were higher than that. So,
I buy lots of tops. I buy a lot of tops. So, you're right. It does seem like a pretty safe investment. I mean, there's some stuff that could happen, like big sell-offs could, I think, affect the price if we start getting some of these institutions dumping them. I don't know. I'm interested. Like, we got a whole year. I'm interested to seeing how often these are exercised. I mean, right now it'd be kind of silly, but I bet people have exercised.
I know a few people definitely have just to test out
the process.
The process,
Mm-hmm.
And also the fact that they're just like, fuck you, pay me. Like, it's they're getting their 100 shares and they're taking them off. If they're real and if this thing is legit, then I'm taking 100 shares away. Like, I don't care if I'm paying 32.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, and I think, like, you're choosing to give the money to GameStop also.
Exactly.
Like, that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of putting it into the market or wherever that shit goes. It definitely doesn't go. So.
Yeah, but no, I think it's gonna be cool though. Like, I mean, just kind of seeing how the market for the warrants develop over the next year, especially, I think we're all here because we are expecting volatility in some sense to return to GameStop. I mean, that's kind of what got us interested in the first place, right? Whether or not volatility comes back, even if this is a quote unquote slow ass, where GameStop just marches up to $1,500 methodically and slowly over the next 10 years, like, hey, I'm cool, like that's totally fine with me. I don't care if that happens.
Yeah.
You're a shill.
Right. But whether GameStop gets to that kind of a price level quickly or slowly doesn't really matter too much. I think the fact that Ryan Cohen is using every tool in his arsenal to fundraise and bring more shareholder equity in is just fantastic. I mean, I think it shows that he is an exceptional student of the game. He is very much a student of Warren Buffett, first of all, and he is building a war chest for exactly what we don't know, but he is putting GameStop in a very strong strategic position to build a strong future, to perhaps acquire other entities, to acquire more Bitcoin, to acquire other businesses, to build other businesses. What we don't know, but I don't know if he has a specific plan or if he's just waiting for something to present itself. But
the closest
he's in a good position. Yeah, go
he
ahead.
really is. The closest bit of tinfoil that I've found myself getting attracted to was just the other day, Larry posting that TikTok is only 15 billion to buy the American entity. Specifically mentioning, that one company and its price was quite surprising. And that was I say the other day, it was probably a few weeks ago now, but
yeah,
I was quite.
Yeah, he's had some. His Twitter is always interesting, but yeah, that was pretty interesting. We were doing some math, and we could just kind of stick on warrants while we're here. There's a couple things that happen when it comes to those. I just lost where I was though. I know. Okay, so we did some math though in the Discord, and we were trying to figure out. So GameStop's cash was at $8.6 billion. And then you had Bitcoin. I think it came to about 9.2. That was as of Q2's as the last earning report. So if we add the 1.9 billion and you consider crypto, we're sitting at about $23 a share if all of those are exercised. And I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if we'll see all of those exercise. But you talk about tinfoil. I think RC my tinfoil would be that these are here so that RC can make money off of a GameStop move, because we all know he can't sell his shares. If he were to sell his shares, he would ruin everything. But it would just end fucking everything. But if we catch a bid and he starts maybe selling some of his warrants, that could be a way he could make money without actually hurting the stock. And in fact, he'd be giving money to the company. Wait, no, he wouldn't. Never mind. That would be only if he exercised them. So
yes, right. Yeah.
Right.
But either way, yeah.
But I think ultimately a large majority of these warrants will get exercised rather than be held to expiration. They're not likely to be held to expiration and expire worthless.
So you think that are you basing that on that you think we're going to be above 32? I definitely think we'll be above 32 by October next year.
A year from now. Yeah, I think that's extremely likely.
Yeah, I agree. We'll get our shot. Now the question is, does everyone play them like they play options and get fucking greedy at the top? I like myself, we get our move up, and is everyone going to exercise then? And then also my question then, what happens if we all start exercising at 32, 33, 34? The company is going to be putting shares onto the market. The float will be getting larger. So I don't know. I don't know how that's going to matter. If that's going to matter, because they're not getting sold into the market. I don't know. If there's these big,
these are shares that are getting manufactured, but then they become eligible to be sold.
Yeah. There you go.
So the float, the total shares outstanding becomes larger. The float becomes larger, but you won't necessarily see warrant exercises hit the tape.
Yeah. I wonder, are we going to know? Probably at earnings? That's when we're going to start finding out.
At earnings, you'll probably see a mention Even if it's not in the narrative, I would expect it to be in the narrative, most likely. Just like hey, we had an offering of this many warrants, and we have received this much revenue because of this open offering on the warrants. They'll probably provide that some sort of an update to that regard. But even if they don't, I mean, you can pretty much take the running normal quarterly change in shares just from typical stock grants to employees, and extrapolate, like, hey, how many more extra shares do we have in the total shares outstanding this quarter than we would have in a normal quarter? So
we could probably do some math too, like on the money that we have, right? Like as long as he hasn't bought anything, we already know how much the cost basis is on the Bitcoin. So if our cash is going up by, I don't know, some amount, 500 million.
Yeah, we might be able to do a little bit of extrapolation there, but there might be other variables that might muddy that calculation a little bit. But but on the total shares outstanding, I mean, we have a rough idea of about how many shares it already like organically changes one quarter to the next, so you could get a rough idea one way or the other.
So that'll be what we need to pay attention to then, is the shares that they report at earnings, because they would give
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I just like to know what we need to go to first, right? It's cash and cash equivalents always. Like that's our new thing now. Not new, but it's been like that for about a year. We want to see what's happened there. And now it'll be running to see the size of the shares available. Okay, let's see. When it comes to the warrants, we talked about the option chain. It's got to be built out. We talked about last week, if you're going to be playing options, make sure you're looking for ones that are liquid and have a good amount. Usually like 30s, 25. Well, the closer to the money you get, you can do it every 50 cents or every dollar. But as you're getting out of the money, a lot of these strikes out there, especially on these off weeks that they just added, do not have a lot of liquidity. So just be careful when it comes to that. We're watching the chain closely. There isn't a whole lot of stuff that's come in on the positive side. Like I was saying, a whole lot of those calls in the money. It was in the money calls too. It was like 10s and 12s, and those were all being like fucking sold. So don't know what that was about. Kind of hoping it was hedging. Oh, the name Project Genesis. That's what I wanted to ask about. Yeah. So so we got a filing, right?
Yep.
Okay.
It was the warrant agreement.
Yeah. So I forgot.
Was named Project Genesis.
Yeah. So when did that come out?
So that was the 8A registration statement was filed. It was a week ago, Friday night, but they filed it like later than the SEC normally will accept and file things same day. So it ended up showing up. I guess it would have been, or was it Thursday night?
Yeah.
I think it was Thursday night, and no, that's not right.
So we got Thursday night. It
was Thursday night was when they did the shelf registration
of the week before, like 2 Thursdays ago, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and so then the next day, that Friday night, was when they did the 8A registration statement for the warrants, but they actually filed it at 8:41 p.m. Is that right? No, they did it at 9:41 p.m. It was because
I knew it was a 41.
Because Edgar takes filings until 10 p.m. and so they filed it at 7:41 p.m. Mountain Time, which I just thought was interesting because they had also made a post about Denver that day. Yeah. So for you tinfoil enthusiasts out there.
Yeah, they also said that Toast said frog right before they issued leaps. GameStop posted a frog.
Was that my new friend that you're talking about?
Toast? Are you buddies with
welcome,
Toast?
by the way.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
I am now followed by
that's
Mr.
right.
Joe Fonicello.
Yeah,
Thanks to I'm gonna give all the credit to Paulie.
Yeah.
He you posted something like what did you say?
That morning I said good morning, Toast. And it looks like you could follow one more account, something along those lines, because he was following I think he was following I think 146 accounts.
That's right. Yeah.
And so I was like, it looks like you could follow one more. And I wasn't fishing for any particular account. I was just like, yeah, you could follow one more.
Of course you weren't. You weren't.
And I honestly didn't care who he followed. I was just like, you need to follow one more. And and later that same day, he followed you.
That's right. So, yeah. So you've had the Larry follow, and now I've got the Toast follow. Because I said something like, oh, my toast is landing butter side up today, or something like that, because I was having a good day or something was happening. I was getting a bit of luck or whatever.
Yeah.
And I've tagged him a few times in a few posts, and that he seems like a funny, cool guy. And
he's listening, bro. You can just tell him hi. He's listening.
Yeah. And that Brooks guy, shout out to Brooks, who I was talking about with Paulie before, who runs the Vista GameStop store, and he's kind of around that San Diego area. He's actually buddies with Toast because he was one of the guys that got invited. Do you remember a while ago they filmed that video where they took a few of the GameStop staff members to, I think it was it Disney or some sort of convention or something that they took them to?
I thought it was Call of Booty. I thought that's what you're going with.
Well, maybe, but no, I think it was Disney because they had like the ears on and stuff, and Toast was there with a GameStop thing on, and a few of them, and so he got to know him, and Brooks was in a few of the adverts and things, a few of the videos for the company, and they apparently are chatting quite often and whatever. And I said, I can't get. I said to Brooks, like, I can't get a read on him, like, because he doesn't post very much, and I can't really. Whereas Larry, I've got a good read on him. Like, I know what he's sort of. I've made my mind up about him. I said, like, is he a nice guy? Like, is he fun? Is he, silly and funny, or is he quite serious? And he was like, oh, mate, like, you'd love him. He's just an idiot like us. Like, he's just so funny, like, in a good way. Like, he's just
right, yeah.
And then he went and added me. Yeah, and I messaged Brooks. I was like, your buddy's just followed me.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking cool. I'm not jealous at all.
Yeah, it was cool. Still haven't got the Larry follow, which you've had, Paulie.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, Fitz is like, nice, happy for you.
Yeah.
So, okay. I forget how we were getting there, but the one thing I wanted to bring up with the warrants was kind of the day of and the issues. Yeah. I don't know, issues. I feel like everyone wanted to call it a shit show, but they explained it to us that, on or about on the 7th, and I think pretty much everyone got them by end of day the 7th. Is that right?
For the most part, not quite every broker had them showing up in accounts by then, but I mean, for the most part, they did. Like, I know one of my accounts, like my health savings account, they didn't show up until the following day, but they got there. That was also the only account where I wound up with fractional warrants, and I just had to chuckle at that. I'm like, oh my gosh, these guys don't have any idea what they're doing.
That's what else I was going to say. Is
they
can't
we had some
read.
Of those. Yeah. But hey, thanks for the 0.34 warrants, I guess, or 0.33 warrants that I was not supposed to get, but I will take them.
Yeah. That just goes to show that they are essentially synthetic, doesn't it? They're not.
Yeah.
They're not real. They're creating their own. And at the end of the day, that's what people get uppity about still. And I think, like, guys, it's 2025. We're nearly in 2026. You know now that your brokers are not real. And they're all just giving you synthetic bullshit. Like, we know all this stuff. It doesn't need to keep getting rehashed and rehashed.
Just like every time you use your credit card and you go somewhere, it's the same thing. Exactly. You're not giving anybody real money. You're giving them an IOU. Like everything about our financial system is built on a house of cards. So, like,
I know. And it just makes me laugh that they get so uppity and angry about it still. And I'm like, You guys have been around for how long? Like,
Yeah.
you know this. Like,
yeah. I still get
It's
people
insane.
talking shit for me posting a fucking Robinhood screenshot, which, yeah, I know Paulie's dealt with that, but like, yeah, they
Mhm.
are very uppity sometimes about a lot of
Oh
that
man,
stuff.
the pitchforks came out on my account this last week just because I like admitted that I had a Robinhood account. I'm like, this is like the smallest position I have in GameStop. Out of all the brokers I use, I have the tiniest fraction in
well, I didn't
Robinhood.
actually realize. I didn't actually realize that both of you were using Robinhood. So fuck you, I'm out of it.
it was nice knowing you, Aaron. We appreciate you coming on.
I use them for options. I don't use them for shares. I have been buying Mews in there though. Like I like that, but options is the fills are terrible, but it doesn't get much easier to trade when you're not at home than Robinhood. So you know what? And if you're going to talk shit to me because I'm using some other brokerage, I mean, really, every single one of them is a problem except for maybe Computer Share. And there's all kinds of back and forth about.
They still have
too.
their own problems, right? Like they're archaic. And
well, that's I was going to say they're living in the 90s, aren't they? Their system is just atrocious, and they've updated it. And I've got shares DRS before people start whinging and attacking me. But
yeah, we all do.
Their actual system is pretty shit, and they've updated it all just recently, and it's gone from like Windows 98 to Windows XP. You know, it's like
it's like Fidelity Active Trader.
Yeah. Welcome to this millennium. I think but still got some work to do. And so like they serve a purpose. They matter, but if you're trying to trade and build wealth through trading, Computer Share is not the place to do it.
Not trading.
And especially if you are an options trader, like that's literally not an option.
We can't DRS our fucking weeklies, bro.
Right. Yeah. Hate to break it to you.
But you can DRS Mews though. I learned that.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I've yet to see it. I've not been spending a lot of time on Twitter itself recently, but I'm sure people have done it already.
I believe it was. I think I saw Chili Kiwi actually bought some on. Was it IBKR? Bought some on IBKR and immediately transferred them to Computer Share. So
cool.
Just to test it out. And I thought that was pretty cool, so like, I mean, stuff like that I think is really neat, but I think it's when people get like sort of like this militant stance on it, that's when I'm like, let people make their own decisions and do their own research. That's an appropriate stance.
Yeah. I've started thinking a lot of these accounts are actually bots, or they're just, I mean, that's essentially a bot, like an AI programmed account to give you the same shitty responses all the time. You can't be a human and respond like that. It's so ridiculous.
They're saying here to frustrate us, I think, for the most part.
Yeah.
If you're bullish, they're here to fuck with that.
If you're DRS'd, great. And I know, shout out Kiwi, because we had a lovely conversation the other day because I think he kind of took something I said the wrong way, and I was like messaging him straight away, like, mate, me and you will never have a problem, never. So I consider you a good friend, and if you've taken something that I've said the wrong way, it's just I'm joking, and please accept any apologies or whatever. And we ended up chatting for like an hour, and he was just saying, because he is a big advocate of DRS, and he sometimes can get a bit defensive because he feels like a lot of people on the other side attack it. And I was like, yeah, I get it. On my side, I feel like it's the other way. I feel like if you say that 90% of my position is not DRS'd, then I get attacked for that. So it just, I said to him, it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on, mate. You've just got to know who your friends are. And good for you that you've DRS'd all your shares, or as many as you want, or whatever. I'm not going to do that, and that's okay. And we can get on because we understand each other's position, and I'm not going to attack you for doing that. And we had a really, really nice conversation because I've sent him some stuff, to Australia or wherever you're Kiwi. Oh, God, he's going to kill me. Yeah, he's going to kill me. New Zealand. Cut that out, Sean. Cut it out.
The magic of editing.
But
I love
this is what I actually said. I was like, you can get yourself in a position where, because I've never been a big group chat person, which is what I said to you earlier when you were talking about the streams, and I'm the same with the Discord, in the sense that I can jump in now. Like when you first invited me, I was almost trying to find my place and trying to make friends and things like that. Whereas now, a lot of people have either been kicked out because they were causing problems, or I know everybody in there, and that I consider them all friends anyway. So it's like I don't have to keep constantly jumping in. I am a bit busier these days, and so I said to him, I'm not really in any group chats anymore. The only one I'm part of them, and I join in when I can, is the card collectors one, the Discord with you guys, and then that elitist group that a couple of you were in. I said, but even that one has really calmed down because all the drama has stopped, because a few people got kicked out, and actually everybody's just nice to each other, and it's just relaxed. I said, and Kiwi said he's not really in any groups at the minute. I said, I am, but not really, if you get what I mean. I jump in and out when I can. I said, but if you isolate yourself, you want to be careful, because that's where you can start getting a bit defensive, and feeling like people are attacking you or whatever. I said, because I've been there multiple times where if I dip out of the echo chamber and I dip out of the card collectors and I feel like somebody's getting at me or digging me, I then don't feel like I've got that backup or those group of friends that are like seeing it or hearing it or whatever.
Oh yeah, and it can feel bad. Like 3 people can make you feel like you're being jumped on in a Twitter comment.
Oh mate,
yeah. So you don't have friends out there, whatever. I could see it being
that, and so that's
rough.
exactly it. That was the conversation we got into, which was just, I've got your back, like, and you don't have to ever think that I'm going to attack you or anything like that, because the only people I ever do that to are the people that act like dicks, and then I just block them.
Oh yeah. So all right. So I think Polly's gonna have to get out of here pretty quick. I think that's all I have.
Yeah, I got about 10 minutes maybe.
Yeah. That's all I got for warrants. I'm trying to think if there was something else that I wanted to say about it, but I can't really. But Polly, like, anything you're seeing with the chart, anything you wanted to talk about with warrants, anything you wanted to talk about before we get out of here?
Yeah, so you touched on a lot of really great stuff in the chart. So before I forget about it, the fact that you mentioned the 2073 price point, I knew it rang a bell. So you call it the yellow gap. Yeah. It's also where we hit our bottom for the year. That was the low on March 31st.
Bounced off it, huh?
Yeah. So if we're talking about the intra-day price action and you're excluding extended hours, that was the low of the year so far. So, and on April 7th, I would just like to remind people, I said the bottom for 2025 should have been put in on March 31st at 2073. So I am still sticking by that, and if I'm wrong, I'll admit it. But I'm still sticking by that. I just don't think that the volume can push us below that, and I think that we've had convertible bonds that have proven that. So we've had hundreds of millions of shares traded essentially above that price point now, and I think the bottom is baked in for the year. And we've seen GameStop get kind of hammered down in the last week or so, and I don't know if the bottom is in yet, but I don't necessarily expect it to get below that 2073. I don't even know if it would get below Ryan Cohen's last buy.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. We got 2154 or LCs or RCs at 2155. That's looming as well. Like I agree.
Yeah, so I feel like those are significant lines in the sand, if you will. So those are things that I kind of consider, and also just when I look at the just volume shelves in general. But I'm not in the business of making predictions necessarily, but that is one that I still stand by. Like I don't see it going below that point. So, we'll see. I've got about a little over 2.5 months for that to still kind of come true. But I also woke up Friday morning thinking, hey, I should make a video. So I walked down to my office Friday morning and I was like, I'm gonna start recording. And I had never done one on TradingView, but I was like, I'm gonna figure this out. So I pre-market, I recorded a long form chart video on trading video that ended up being about 35 minutes long. Posted it to TradingView, YouTube, and X, and so I don't know if you guys have watched it, but it's basically a tutorial on fib channels. And so like I know we like kind of joke a lot about how my charts look like a 3-year-old got a bunch of box of crayons out, and because it's so colorful and all this, but like it's more or less a tutorial on like how that is really not me spending hours of time putting a bunch of colors on the chart. It's really like me picking for a single fib channel 3 price points, 3 points in time, and letting the fib channel do its thing. And so it draws a series of parallel channels that are all based on math from 3 points in time. And so the video I think is hopefully useful. And I got a really nice comment the next morning from actually a TradingView mod encouraging me to do more of those videos. So I would like,
nice.
I would like ideas from people on what else they would like to see. So
awesome.
I definitely like doing more educational stuff. I'm cool with analysis too. But yeah, education or analysis, tutorials, anything like that, I'd be happy to do more videos and, stuff along those lines. And I could do it on GMEWS chart, Bitcoin, a random ticker, anything like that. The next day, I think I was just looking, or maybe later that same day, I was looking at just the Eli Lilly chart. And I was like, I wonder if I could do a fib channel for their entire ticker history. And I just went back to the 1970s, and sure enough, just on the monthly chart, just picked a couple of points, from the 1970s and 80s, and one of them happened to be the day after Black Monday was the high point that I picked actually, and you can chart the entire history of the Eli Lilly company with a fib channel. So
that's crazy.
Yeah, so like you can do it with GameStop, and you can do it with Eli Lilly, and if you place your points in the right spot, then you can start to get a really good explanation of why we've met support and resistance in some places. But I would say that in terms of just when I zoom out on our chart a little bit, and also I guess before I go to GameStop's chart, just because I have the warrants on my screen right now, I would say that it does look like an accumulation pattern more than anything. So like, I mean, I think I'm looking at a Wyckoff pattern on the 5-minute chart for GMEWS. So it kind of looks like a rounding bottom. So hopefully we see that start to sort of round out and move up. But it's still very, very early, so it could be a lot of things. But that's just the first thing that stands out to me on that. Then moving on to GameStop's chart, I would just mention that when I zoom out and look at things like the weekly and the monthly chart, we are sort of in that territory. I had discussed on my TradingView video last week this Gandalf line that I've been talking about, and why using specifically that line for a fib channel is meaningful. And what I didn't actually discuss in the video, but it becomes apparent if you actually make a fib channel out of it, is that that line is actually ground zero, not only for the squeeze in 2024, but also in 2021. It's like the final launch point for that final pop. And so it happens to also be where it comes back down and retests. So that fib channel, that zero line on the fib channel is very important, and it goes all the way back in time to that point, and then it comes all the way forward to where we actually retested the bottom on both of our convertible bonds. So, that's a very important point on the chart from a time-based perspective. And when you're looking at just sort of like the moving averages for let's just say the monthly chart, you can look at the 21 or the 20-month moving average. We've got that has been a very reliable support over the last year plus, and it is curling up towards the 50-month right now. And, August was a tough month for us, spent most of the month underneath that point. And then we recovered obviously strongly in September.
Yeah.
And
August was annoying.
Right. It was. Yeah. Big time. And, September came off of that. And now we've come back down and basically retested that. The 21-month moving average is 23.30, and now our low this month has been 23.11, and we're now at 23.59. Now, if I switch that to the 20-month, just because I like to look at both of those a little bit differently, just because they can just be a little bit different. The 20-month is 23.75. And so we're still just a little bit underneath the 20-month. So I think if we can get ourselves safely above both of those, then I'll feel a little bit better. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And then if I look at the weekly chart, and I'm looking at similar things, except it's more actually the 100-week moving average. That has been a really reliable support since actually about last September. So you go to pretty much the week of September 13th and 20th of last year, and GameStop has reliably bounced off of the 100-week moving average ever since then. So it bounced off of it those weeks. It bounced off of it April of this year. It came close on the second bond offering in June, and then it hasn't gotten quite close to it since. And so we're hovering about $1 above it now. So, but also we've got the 20-week and the 200-week moving averages moving kind of close together. They're kind of coming together like tweezers right now. And if we can get the 20-week to kind of come in on like that tweezer formation, some people like to refer to that as an airplane. Like if we end up with a strong close this week, or next week, then that could be a really strong indication that we're getting a bullish retest of the 20-week on the 200-week moving average. And kind of a similar thing with the 21-week versus the 200-week, but the 21-week is sitting higher than the 20-week, so that's not quite as tight of a tweezer look to it. So
it's not tight of a tweezer.
Yeah. So those are just kind of some things that I'm looking at in terms of like the zoomed out price action. But I mean, overall, I really like what I'm seeing right now. For some people, the up and down is probably a little frustrating if they don't have that zoomed out perspective. But I mean, like my only regret is that I don't have more to throw at it right now. Like if only I weren't so busy buying power packs, right? Like, but but I mean, I guess that's not as much of a regret, right? Because the collectibles themselves have appreciating value. So
Yeah, and you're giving money to GameStop, so that's cool.
Yeah. I'm supporting the company, and I'm also like I'm trying to, do a little bit of a ROI on that as well, and try to see what I can do to make that turn into a little bit more of a sustainable, like, what can I do to have this be a allocate some of this to like charitable causes and things like that. So we'll see.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. All right. I think that's all for that. Kind of go into announcements. My memory keeps going because I swear I had something else for that. But anyways, all right. So I want to welcome a couple people to the Echo Chamber Discord. El Falcone. It's El Falcon. I don't know why. With L in front of it, I gotta make it like Falcone. But
well, I mean, that is how you would say it in Spanish.
Yeah. Welcome to the Echo Chamber. He joined today. And then SP Narwhal, he joined last week. Bad awesome. Robot, actually. Yeah, he mentioned him on the show last week. So welcome to the Echo Chamber, SP Narwhal and El Falcone.
Welcome.
Yeah, no one moved up yet. We got a couple of people very close to the 30s, though. So we got people getting ready to, level up and get a cool little badge next to their name. But I'm thinking about like starting like an OG chat room or something like that for folks over a certain level. Yeah. Let's see. I knocked out, if y'all are looking, I knocked out about 20 accounts last night too. We've been open over 2 years, so there's some inactive folks or maybe some lurkers. If I did kick you out last night and you were a lurker, hit me up. Maybe we can get you back in. But
especially if your name is Keith Gill.
Yeah, I know, right? There were a few accounts that I was like, who is that guy? How did they get here? And it was, I'm the only one doing the invites. But
did you kick me out? I've not been in there for a while.
No, you're on. We're talking now, so we're good. Yeah, no, it was no one got booted that is active at all. But I guess I'll use this as a reminder. It's just come say hi. We don't want you just kind of coming in and lurking and never saying hello or anything like that. So
no, that's right. I popped in the other day. Actually, I had a chat with a couple of people, and I tend to pop in, especially when people tag me in something that I'm going to see and like and whatever. And Curious Cat tagged me and Robot tagged me in something, and then I'll bump in and how you doing, guys? And
oh yeah, it's like an Aaron sighting when you actually come in. You and Chuck. Chuck barely comes, but every now and then he'll come in.
Oh, has Chuck been popping in from time to time? No, that's...
No, not at all. We wish.
Yeah, he's been mega. I've noticed, in general, his entire Twitter now has become like, which I think is really good. It's like, get outside, touch grass, enjoy life, and
that puppy too.
Kind of like it.
Yeah,
the puppy. Yeah, he was just getting the puppy when we met. So it was kind of like he didn't want to promise me that he was going to meet me because he was going to get this new puppy and that. But he still made time to do it, and I'm still grateful, still very grateful that he met. And I don't think he really realised the impact he had, because you and Paulie and a few others know I was struggling during that time and with various things and whatever. And he kind of him and Robot and I also met with Kids Meal as well, and they kind of broke me out of it and just kind of like snapped me out of that reality of kind of like, it's all good, you're good, come on, like get on with it. And I'd always be kind of grateful for just sitting having that pizza with him in Boston.
That's cool. Yeah, he's busy. Yeah. He's traveling. He sent us a picture because I'm in negotiations trying to get him to come visit us again. It would be nice to have Chuck come on the show and say what's up. But he sent us a picture of him in a beach, at a beach, and he's like, "Oh, I'm traveling for work." Okay. Yeah, I'm joking. Yeah,
didn't know his new job meant he was an Abercrombie model.
Yeah, exactly. Hanging out in like a beach bar all day. It's a nice job, Chuck.
He's far too attractive and sexy for us three. So
yeah.
Can't be helped. But I mean, my
Tough work.
video's just got over 202,000 views, so I'm going to be too busy and important for you guys as well.
We're gonna have to get a hold of Aaron's agent the next time we want him.
I know.
Yeah.
We're gonna need a sponsor to be able to afford him.
Yeah, Bad Robot is going to be my agent. You can go through him.
Yeah. Well,
Does Bad Robot know this?
No.
Well, see, that's going to be an issue because Bad Robot is my agent.
Oh shit!
But we can have the same agent, right?
No, it's a conflict of interest. See, because you have that Charizard.
I see.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah.
But then he could be the broker. Yeah.
See, he's been trying to broker that Charizard deal.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
All right, Aaron, you got anything before we get out of here? We plugged your TikTok.
Well, it's funny that I literally just mentioned Bad Robot because he's just DM'd me right now.
He texted me while we were recording too.
There you go. I just wanted to say thank you to him. By the time this goes out, I will have already made a post, but I received a really nice gift in the post from him today, and it's really, really odd coincidence because I just pulled my first ever Chinese card on Power Packs the other night, and it was that Arcanine, really nice card.
Nice.
And then I had a really fucked up degen kind of ending to the stream where I just went nuts and just like bought a load of platinum packs and diamond packs, and I was like selling them back to GameStop and just like fuck it. And one of them was this starter pack Sylveon that was also Chinese, but it was a chase card. And I said, I don't really want to start collecting Chinese cards because I'm being strict now about what I collect. I'm actually starting to sell some of the ones that I bought from GameStop not that long ago, a couple of years ago, because they don't fit in my new little remit in my head. So I said, right, I'm going to sell that, and I'm going to sell this Sylveon card because it's Chinese. Then I pulled that Arcanine, and I was like, oh, I actually really like that. And then Bad Robot has sent me this Jolteon in Chinese, and I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm now going to have to start collecting Chinese cards. So now I'm sort of like, oh, fuck, I should have kept that Sylveon. But there you go. But no, I'm just really grateful to him. And
and it is the exact same type of Jolteon that you and Larry are beefing over too.
Yes. So for those that don't know or have seen it or whatever, I've got the English one in a 9. Larry's got the English one in a 10. I was looking at the Japanese one as well, and Bad Robot has actually sent me in a 10 in Chinese, and it's currently sitting at a worth of about $100. So he's not, it's not some cheap card that he sent me, and I'm just really grateful to him, and he gave me this Ditto card for my birthday when I met him, and finally these V friends. I didn't really get into it.
Oh yeah, Gary V.
Yeah, so he sent me these like for you two to see.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah,
I
haven't seen too much of those cards yet, but I know that they're pretty popular.
No, so Series 1, and he'd already ripped them.
Oh yeah,
but. So it was already open, but he said to me, I want you to take a look at these and see if you like them. And just this one card here, look, in a graded 10 is worth like a few $100.
Wow.
So it's like they're not like cheap, sort of crappy cards. Like people are really seem to be getting into them, but this was the first time I met him, and he just turns up with all these like birthday gifts and that. So I just wanted to shout out Robot because he's just top class.
Very cool.
Nice stuff.
Yeah, he's a good dude.
Yeah, for sure. Good co-host too. We got a nice little rotation of you guys. Add Swami to that. Yeah. Echo Chamber's rocking. So okay.
Yeah.
All right. You got anything before we leave, Polly?
Oh, I feel like I'm forgetting. I feel like I'm forgetting something.
Yeah, I had something earlier and I can't. It's gone.
Yeah. We'll get to it later. We'll
remember as soon as we end.
I'll be around. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Cool. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Thank you, Paulie.
Yeah.
Thanks Yeah. Thank you, Aaron.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Thank you very much.
We'll see you next week. All right. Bye.
Yeah. Thanks.
See you later, guys. Thank you.
All right. Don't hang up. Let me stop this fucking thing.
I got another Uno deck here. We could use the Uno deck. So if the market starts working against us, we're prepared. We're prepared for this shit. You know what I mean? Wait a second. Are we prepared? All right, now I got to break it up. So like if the stock, if it starts moving against us, the stock goes down, we could just play that card. You know what I mean? Reverse it. Just reverse that shit, and then it goes back. It goes back in the short's face. And then if it gets to like a certain price point, and we think, oh, that's a nice price. $10 is nice, but how about 12? How about, oh shit, you can't see that. How about 14? How about 14 for a stock price? You know what I mean? So you can play these cards, but I'm very selective about when I play them. And then sometimes if short squeeze starts getting close, you play this shit, right? But that's very special. You know what that means. Is that the message from the card? So sell short, is that the message from the card? This is a long only deck. This is a long only deck. Oh, this is a green one, so you can't see it. Look at that. Sick. It's a long only deck.